in order to do anti-racism work, I should say, it has to be connected to compassion, right? That at its core, it allows us to be reconnected with ourselves and allows us to reconnect with others, right? With our communities. And so for us, we believe that empowered compassion is an invitation to a different way of living. And that different way of living is consistent with the liberatory message of Jesus and the anti-racist message that we are trying to convey. Compassion, as we use it in this seminar, is the means by which we invite ourselves into a different way of living in the world. Empowered compassion resists structural evil by seeking to humanize ourselves and our neighbors, right? When confronted with the realities of oppression and dehumanization, compassion doesn't seek to deride or to call someone out, like for their actions, nor does compassion want to turn a blind eye and remain passive and just pretend that they're not seeing what they're seeing or that things aren't as they appear. When confronted with the realities of oppression and dehumanization, compassion allows us to ground ourselves in the realities of the structural evils that we see, right? So you're talking about like racism, sexism, ableism, heterosexual, the things we know are inconsistent with the gospel from a Christian perspective, right? And from this ground, we are able to see ourselves for who we are, right? We're not elevating ourselves as people who have like perfected what it means to be about social justice, to be about justice and love, I should say. And we're not essentializing like others, right? We're not seeing others for who they are not. We're not essentializing them and saying, okay, you did this, you said this word, and so you are that. Like you did this thing, so you are racist. Like that's the totality of who you are. We're not essentializing people because we know that people have multiple parts, right? And in this sense, we are able to both invite ourselves and others into a deeper understanding of the injustice we are attending to. We are able to invite them into a process of helping to create the community that we believe we all long for. In this sense, like we believe and we recognize that racism lives, moves, and breathes within the structures that we have created because we know that we all have been racialized, right? It's just a part of the way our society and the way our country works. And so because racism is so embedded in who we are, or I should say in who we are, but embedded in the structures that we live in, we have to have a way to attend to ourselves in the midst of dismantling these systems, right? In order to do that in a way that doesn't actually dehumanize us or dehumanize another, we recognize and fundamentally believe that compassion has to form the core of the humanizing lens through which we view anti-racism, because it's the humanizing lens through which we view all people. We just believe that the history of nonviolent social transformation, it shows us, right? It shows us that you have to have the courage to take the risk required to do the work of humanizing your neighbor.